Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudet. It is June 3rd, 2020, and this is Global Tarot Circle. Very happy to have you here. We meet once a month on my business page. If you are watching in archive, you might be watching in archive on my Facebook business page, another one of my Facebook pages, or perhaps on YouTube. If you are not a member of our Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook, please do ask to join. That's where we discuss some of the exercises we do here and also what we might do in an upcoming meeting. So thank you so much for being here. Hey, Maria, Lavana, nice to see you. David, glad you're here. Deirdre, glad you're here. Leisha, and Leisha knows what to do. He's here with his burning question. Julia, nice to see you. Glad you're here. Marion, glad to see you. Hey, Ricky Sue, glad to see you. Brenda, glad you're here. All right, so as people come into the room, we appreciate your being here. Let's go over what we do here. A lot of you are familiar. TK, glad you're here. So for the first half of our time together, we're going to be here for an hour. For the first half of our time together, we share readings one with another. If you are not a reader, that's okay. You can still ask a question. But if you yourself are a reader, hey, Michael Wells, glad to see you. If you yourself are a reader, please consider taking part in giving the readings. Robin, glad you're here. So we call this our time for burning questions. So if you have a burning question that you would ask a room full of tarot readers, now's the time to do it. That could be a question about your life. It could be a question about the cards. It could be a question about tarot in general. So for the first half hour, we do readings. In the second half hour, we do some informal tarot study and discussion. So again, if you have a question about a card, about the cards, we will absolutely handle that. We'll likely handle that in the second half. The first half, till about 7:30, my time, which is New York time, Eastern Daylight Time. I'm here in Florida on the East Coast. So here's how we do it. I try to get people in order as the list of questions. You can ask any question you want. If you're not sure what you want to ask, you can ask, what does the universe want me to know? I will answer that question by pulling a single card. If you would also like to answer the question, and I hope you do, you're going to put the name of the person you're reading for, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And so everyone who gets a reading is getting a reading from a bunch of different people. So we each do one card. So everyone ends up getting a big reading. So if I read for you, then make sure you scroll down and read through the comments to get the rest of your reading. Now, if you are reading, I move through this very quickly, and that's for two reasons. First of all, it's much easier, quicker to talk than to type. And secondly, I've been doing this for a long time, so I can get it out quick. If you have a hard time keeping up as a reader, do not worry. Do every other one if you like. Just do the ones you feel drawn to. That's okay too. That's okay too. Okay. So, let's see. Barbara, if you're having a hard time hearing, well, if you can't hear anything, you probably can't hear me say this. But if anyone's having a hard time with the feed, the best thing to do, and if someone wants to type this to Barbara, I'd appreciate it, that she should probably back out of the feed and back in and make sure her volume is up. Okay, very good. So nice to see all of you. Kim, glad you're here. Joanne, glad you're here. Ken, happy to see you. Megan, Julie, glad you're here. And again, make sure you spend more time reading through the comments than you do looking at me. That's really where all the wisdom is. Gayleen, glad you're here. Now, again, if you are watching an archive, obviously we're not going to be reading for you, But keep watching. You might find it a very interesting process. Neil Quatrano, glad you're here. Okay, so we're going to get started. And Leisha's been to a lot of these, so he knew to get his question in right away. So I'm going to start with Leisha. If you would like to read for Leisha, go ahead and put his name in, Leisha, Leisha, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And again, if I read for you, make sure you go through and see what everyone else has to say. Okay, Leisha, what does the universe want Leisha to know? The Three of Pentacles. You know, I know you've been working right through this whole COVID crisis, and this sort of suggests, well, you're going to continue to be working, but you're doing well at work, so take pride in that. Hey, Kim Bonk, nice to see you here. So we have a Kim and a Kimberly. Kim Bonk will be calling you Kimberly. Lori Hahn, glad to see you. Let me say hi to a few more people. Cheryl Watson, glad you're here. Tranquil Tarot, glad to see you. Okay, Robin D, glad you're here. All right, let's go. Okay. Nice to see all of you. I'm just scrolling through. Okay, Deirdre. Deirdre wants to know about her love life. So if you'd like to read for Deirdre, go ahead and put her name, Deirdre, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do you see about her love life? The Six of Cups reversed, man. You got to think about the past. It may be someone from the past that you are not over or still going back and forth with. It may be messaging from your past that has made it hard for you to have a good relationship. Heal from the past and you will be able to manifest something for the future. All right. And again, if I read for you, make sure you read through and see what everyone else has to say. Okay. Lavonna. If you'd like to read for Lavonna, it's Lavonna. What should I be doing at this time? Let's see what you got going on. If you'd like to read for Lavonna, go ahead and put her name in, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What should Lavonna be doing? And I thank you guys for your feedback. I may not acknowledge it because I'm trying to move things forward, but I do read it and I do see it. Thank you. Okay, hey, Dawn Theory, it's so nice to see you here today. Okay, Lavonna, what should I be doing at this time? Holy cannoli, the Tower. So whether this is about something going on in your personal life or something going on the national front, Lavonna, it's about confronting the time of change. It's about confronting what has been hurtful. It's about confronting what is scary. It's about confronting what is changing and recognizing that after the tarot falls, and didn't you just have a job situation, a layoff, something like that? This could be about that. Once the tower falls, there is a firm foundation underneath and all will be well. So just allow it to happen. Allow the process to happen and know you will be fine. Okay, for Megan, if you would like to read for Megan, go ahead and put her name, Megan. The question is, what does my future say for me? I've been so lost since I've been divorced. So this can be about her recovering from her divorce. It can be simply looking for her future. If you'd like to read for her, go ahead and put her name, Megan, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Let's see what we see. Megan, Six of Wands. I think part of the problem is you're feeling like you failed. Either you're feeling like you failed because of the divorce, or there was something about that marriage, the way you were treated in the marriage, that made you feel like a failure. You need to recognize your value. You need to recognize your worth. You need to recognize that you're a winner And so let's do a little magic with this card. Let's turn it right side up to welcome the energy of success to you. You need to feel better about yourself, and then you will move forward in a beautiful way, because really, you are a winner. Okay, Marion, what does the universe want me to know? Okay, let's take a look and see what we got going on for Marion. If you'd like to read for Marion, go ahead and put her name, Marion, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Marion to know? The Seven of Wands reversed, that you are not alone, that you have so many friends and so many people who admire you and so many people who care about you. Okay. David Victor, burning question. I've had a lot of near misses lately in starting a love life. What does the universe want me to know about that? Oh, good question. If you'd like to read for David, go ahead and put his name, David, D-A-V-I-D, the name of the card you got in your interpretation. These near misses he's had about his love life, how should he interpret that? The star reversed. Well, yeah, they are near misses, but that means you're getting closer. You're getting closer. I think that this means that soon there will be happiness and satisfaction. Hey, Vicky Ball, nice to see you. If you'd like to read for Vicky, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Vicky's question, what does the universe want me to know? Knight of Wands reversed. You know, there's something in your life, something that you do, something that you're good at, that you're not taking as seriously as you could. You need to take whatever it is, your creativity, your spirituality, whatever it is that you're not believing in and not taking seriously, you need to take it more seriously. Hey, Steve Homesack, Fast Horse from Pennsylvania. Happy to see you here. Okay, Julie. Let's read for Julie. If you would like to read for Julie, go ahead and put her name, Julie, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, the question, what does the universe want me to know? Okay, let's take a look and see what we got. Hey, Danielle, nice to see you here. Okay, Julie, what does the universe want me to know? Julie, you have been through a lot. You've made a lot of changes. You are moving in the right direction. Do not be afraid of these changes, and do not be afraid of how weird it all feels. It's okay. Okay, Michael Wells, if you would like to read for Michael, go ahead and put his name, Michael, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, his question, what would the universe like me to know? Michael, the Hierophant, same message you always get when you talk to me. Recognize your authority, recognize your strength, do what you have to do in order to move forward. Okay. Irene, I lost one card from Spiral Tarot deck, Queen of Swords. If you could tell me where it is, I'd very much appreciate it. So a couple things. First of all, I love Spiral Tarot. Secondly, Spiral Tarot is published by US Games. I know that they've been closed during COVID, but once they open up again, if you write to them, they will very likely send you a new Queen of Swords, because they're good that way. So even if you don't find your Queen of Swords, you're likely to be able to get another one from them. And, you know, when you lose a card, you have to think about what that means. Hey, Barbara O'Brien, nice to see you. You got to think about what that means. Are you not feeling the truth? Are you not telling the truth to yourself? Are people not hearing your truth? Are you afraid of your own voice? You have to look at that. So where do we think your card is? If you would like to take a stab at that one, a locator, her name is Irene. the name of the card you got, and where you think her missing tarot card is. Ooh, the Tower. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. I would say it may be in a place in your house where there's a lot of commotion, where a lot of people go, or where there's a lot of motion. Maybe the kitchen. Okay, very good. Gayleen, nice to see you. Neil, nice to see you. TK, burning question. Why am I overthinking about getting ill despite being safe and not doing anything crazy bad? I'm having a psychic attack. I don't know if that's a psychic attack, TK, or in fact a anxiety attack during a pandemic. So let's take a look. What can we say for TK? Hey, Suzanne Harrison, nice to see you here. I see a lot of people come in. I'm happy to see you all here. Okay, TK. If you'd like to read for TK, go ahead and put his name. TK, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What's going on that TK is having all of this anxiety around sickness? The Devil. Well, because there's a particularly bad sickness going around, but also because you're an anxious person. Let go of your anxiety. Hey, Ashley, nice to see you here. Okay. Okay, very good. Hey, Cheryl Watson. So if you'd like to read for Cheryl, go ahead and put her name, Cheryl, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe have to say to Cheryl? And I see Michaela here doing readings. Very good. Betty, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. And thank you, everyone who is participating and doing readings. Okay, very good. Cheryl. Cheryl, judgment reversed. This is about closure. There's something you need to be getting closure to that will help you a great deal. Get that closure and you can move forward. Anyone else wants to read for Cheryl? Go ahead, pull a card. Remember her name, Cheryl, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Neil Quatrano. If you'd like to read for Neil, go ahead and put his name, Neil, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. His question, it's a popular one tonight. What does the universe want me to know? 5 of Swords reversed. You catch more flies with sugar than you do with honey. This is about negotiation. It's about diplomacy. You may be coming to a good agreement with someone in a way that will help move everything forward. Vonda Ann, nice to see you here. Lori Hahn, nice to see you here. Okay, so now we have 3 Kims. We've got Kim, Kimberly Essex, and Kimberly Bonk. It's the Kim party. So this is for Kim, K-I-M, Kim Gwen. I would like to know what is the universal message for me in the love department. What do we see regarding love for Kim? K-I-M. Page of Swords. It's important to communicate. If you're already seeing someone, there needs to be more communication there. If there is no one in your life, the way to find someone is to communicate. And in fact, the Page of Swords would speak to the idea of online dating. So you should do that. Okay. Okay, Grace Martin in Scotland. If you would like to read for Grace, go ahead and put the name, Grace, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And just asking for a card. So the question is, what does the universe want me to know for Grace? Oh, 10 of Swords. You've been going through a tough time. Perhaps you are overthinking. Perhaps it's just a tough time right now, but don't worry. Things will get better. That's what you need to know and need to hang on to. Okay, Christine. If you would like to read for Christine, go ahead and put her name, Christine, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. She's also looking for a message. What does the universe want Christine to know? Four of Pentacles. In this case, Christine, I'm going to say it's about self-care and good boundaries. Don't let people push your boundaries. You do what feels right for you, and don't let people tell you what to do. Push back, have good boundaries, and have good self-care. Okay. A lot of great readings going on here. Thank you so much for doing that. So glad. Okay, we have Vansh, V-A-N-S-H. Go ahead, if you would like to do this reading, go ahead and put the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Again, what would the universe like Vansh to know? Ten of Cups reversed. There may have been some difficulty in your romantic life or in your family life. There may be some sadness or some difficulty. Deal with it. It's unfortunate, but it will get better from here. You just have to allow yourself to heal. Okay, very good. Lots of great readings going on. Thank you so much. Maria, Robin, Marion, Julie, Irene, Brenda, thank you for doing readings. Kim doing readings. Kimberly Essex doing readings. Okay, Vonda Ann. If you would like to read for Vonda, go ahead and put the name. I see Cheryl doing readings. Very good. If you would like to read for Vonda, go ahead and put the name, V-O-N-D-A, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Vonda to know? Vonda, Wheel of Fortune reversed. What goes around comes around. There may have been some misfortune here, some difficulty, and I'm so sorry for this. You may be feeling like things are not going in your direction, and that may be very difficult, but hang on in there. The wheel will turn again. It will get better. The other thing I have to say is be careful about the patterns of your own behavior. Do not do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I see Irene doing readings. I see Julia doing readings. Thank you guys so much for this. I see Michaela doing readings. Okay. Barbara Ann, nice to see you here. Teresa, nice to see you. Okay, Barbara Ann. If you would like to read for Barbara Ann, go ahead and put her name, Barbara Ann, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want her to know? We have two Barbaras here. We've got Barbara Ann and we've got Barbara O'Brien. So Barbara Ann will be Barbara Ann. Okay. What does the universe want Barbara Ann to know? Four of Swords, the importance of meditation, the importance of a time away, the importance of retreat. You do not have to handle every problem all at once. You do not have to handle every person's problem at all. You may pray, you may meditate, but take time away. Okay, Teresa. If you would like to read for Teresa, go ahead and put her name, Teresa, T-E-R-E-S-A, the name of the card you got, your interpretation. She just says, I'd love a reading, so it's the same old question. What does the universe want me to know? Death, it's all about change. All about the change of one thing, the ending of something, the beginning of something else. What is it in your life that you would like to put an ending to? What is it that is ending? Let it go and open up to something new. Okay, Michaela, am I honoring the ancestors and or how can I do that? Very good. If you'd like to read for her, M-I-K-A-E-L-A, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do we see? And she's been here doing readings. Honoring the ancestors. The Five of Wands. You got to make peace with your ancestors first. And the thing is, you have ancestors from many, many different cultures. And I think you think about honoring them in cultural terms, and that's great and that's fine. But really, you can just honor them as people who love you. Acknowledge them, thank them, and listen to their wisdom. Okay, Jean Mnuchin, nice to see you. Okay, Karen Winkle. What would the universe like her to know? If you would like to read for Karen, go ahead and put her name. Karen. Probably put the last name because we usually have a few Karens here. Karen Winkle. The name of the card you got and your interpretation. Ooh, Ace of Cups. Open up your heart. This is about love. If you do not have a romantic relationship right now, this may herald a new one. If you do, this may talk about new communication and new energy between the two of you that would be very lovely. In general, though, recognize yourself as a channel of love. Recognize yourself as one who spreads a loving, healing energy throughout the world. Okay, Maria, what should my next move be career-wise? Maria was one of the volunteers for the World Divination Association virtual conference. What a good job she did. She was one of the presenters as well. And didn't we just have a great time? That was a fabulous event, wasn't it? And so we're very grateful about that. Okay, if you'd like to read for her, her name is Maria. Go ahead and pull a card. Say the name of the card and your interpretation. Your next move, Maria, is to be the wounded warrior. It's the Nine of Wands. A couple of things. To try to do some things that you prefer not to do, but do them and do them well anyway. To recognize how well you have done withstanding how difficult your work can be. To recognize that you're still here and you're still standing and you're doing a damn good job. That's kind of the important thing. Sustain what you have already built. Okay. Okay, looking through lots of readings going on. Julia doing readings, Kim doing readings, Suzanne doing readings. You guys are awesome. Okay, Ashley. I'm considering selling my house in New York. I now live in Virginia. It's currently rented out. I'm not thinking about doing it for financial reasons, more like maybe it's a part of life I need to let go of. Should she sell her house? Her name is Ashley, Ashlee. If you'd like to read for her, go ahead and put her name, Ashley, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Should she let go of the New York house to put closure to that part of her life? I shuffled, but I got the same card, Five of Wands. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's not a great answer. I think you have to really think it through. You may be feeling some conflict about it. And since it's not a financial issue, recognize that there is no right or wrong answer here. Sorry. Look for the other people. I'm sure other people will get something more definitive than that. Everyone, please read for Ashley and pick that on up. Okay. Jeannie. Okay, Jeannie is moving to a new place in Massachusetts. She's been creating that move for a long time. And the question is, as she moves, how is COVID going to be affecting her move? Go ahead and put her name, Jean, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. The Emperor reversed. Some things that normally are will not be happening, and you'll have to be patient with that. It may make things feel a little weirder, but it's okay. It may feel weird, it may feel unstable, it may feel unknown, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, and we are coming to the end of our reading time. We're going to try to get to as many people as we can. Okay. Julia Bonesteel. Julia's a teacher. She's wondering how the new school year will be at the beginning. If you would like to read for Julia, not to be confused with Julie, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Julia. Seven of Wands reversed. It will be friendly. It will be okay. I don't know if it's going to be in person or online. I don't know. But it will be friendly and people will be supportive. Okay, lots of great readings going on. Okay. Just scrolling through, making sure we get to everyone. Lots of great readings. All right. So it is 7:32. So as you can finish up the readings that you want to do. Again, if I've read for you, go ahead and read through and make sure that you see all your readings. Here's Ricky Sue. Let's do Ricky Sue's reading. This will be the last or one of the last readings that we'll do. Then we'll move into the tarot study portion of our work together tonight. Ricky Sue, if you would like to read for Ricky Sue, go ahead and put her name, Ricky, Rickie. Will my daughter's new boyfriend that moved during, daughter's new boyfriend, is it going to last? What do you think about the daughter's relationship with the boyfriend? Now, this is a teachable moment, isn't it? Because this is a third-party reading, the dreaded third-party reading. Not everyone is comfortable doing these kinds of readings. I think when it's about the well-being of your daughter, it's perfectly okay. So if you are comfortable doing such a thing, what do you think about the daughter and her boyfriend? Go ahead. The name is Ricky, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. This will be either the last or one of the last readings we'll do before we get into the tarot study portion of what we're doing. Okay. Six of Wands. I feel like this is a better situation than some of what she's had in the past. That could be a good thing. Okay, very good, very good. And lots of good readings. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Now, as we move into the second half of Global Tarot Circle, I want to re-welcome. We've had some people come in the meanwhile. I thank you all for being here. I want to welcome you. And again, if you're still doing readings, that is perfectly okay. I'm just sort of scouting on through here just to see if I have missed anything. And I really appreciate everyone being so generous. Okay, here's one we'll do for Danielle. Will I find a new job in the next 6 months? What can you tell Danielle about getting a new job? Go ahead and put her name, Danielle, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Ooh, King of Pentacles reversed. It is not going to be easy. It is possible, but I think what you got to do is really be as persistent and positive as you possibly can. Absolutely. Barbara Money, nice to see you here. Okay, I'm just looking through for extraneous. Victoria, nice to see you here. Okay, very good. So now is the time. Claire Carter, nice to see you. Barbara Money, glad you're here. Okay, Now is the time for your tarot questions. What do you want to know about the cards? The interpretation of a particular card, a spread, something that you've done that you didn't understand, something about cards or technique at all. This is the time to discuss it. We have a couple of questions. A couple of questions already. Let me get to them. I've got one here on my phone. I'm not fubbing you. You guys know about fubbing, phone snubbing? I'm not fubbing you. I am actually looking for the question from Michaela. Sorry. Okay, and here are the questions. Contacting past lives, spirit guides, angels, loved ones in spirit, mediumship, higher self, soul connections, magic in the cards, and healing and self-care with the cards. So the whole thing that she's looking for is sort of the higher, less fortune-tellery purposes for the cards. So let me put this out to you. How do you use the cards in this way? Do you use the cards to speak with your angels? Do you use the cards to speak with your loved ones in spirit? Do you use the cards for healing in some way? Do you use the cards for spell work, for magic? My answer to all of those things is yes, 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 yes. Can you tell a story? Can you tell us something about how you personally do that? Now, when we talk about tarot magic, you saw me do it here earlier, the magic of reversals. If there is a card that comes up that describes an energy that you'd prefer not to have there, and it's an upright card, you can go ahead and release that energy and send it on its way simply by reversing it. If a card comes up reversed that you would rather see that energy accessible, you can turn it right side up. Hey, Jill Watson, reading for yourself like you were reading for someone else. You always know what's going on with you, which is keeping from reading the cards. Hey, that's good. That's good. You know, there's a lot of people who say, well, you can't read for yourself. And it's true that a lot of the people that I read for professionally are also readers. And it's good to get a second opinion. I mean, a doctor doesn't remove their own appendix. But I also believe that if you don't read for yourself, you shouldn't read for anyone else. So I would love to hear you ring in on Jill's question. How do you read for yourself like you're reading for someone else? And let me share some of my ideas there. First is to do a little meditation to release your attachments, your desires, and your anxieties. And that's funny, of course, because we may be going to the cards because of our anxieties. But nonetheless, release them, breathe them out. And then when you do your reading, say it aloud or write it in your tarot journal. Because a lot of times as readers ourselves, we get a card, we're like, that's really ironic, that's really interesting, that's really fun, that means a lot. But we don't say it to ourselves. We just say, yeah, I hear you, tarot. But we don't say the reading. And we know that a lot of great information comes from the reading when we write it or when we say it, because then we're in the zone and we're pulling the information through. And if we don't do that for ourselves, we're not going to get as much information. So say it aloud or write it. That's what I would have to say. Now, let's see. Okay, Karen Winkle says, I don't use the cards to talk to angels, guides, etc. I have a direct connection with them, so I don't need them. Danielle says, I always ask my guides to give me the correct or truthful info and not to tell me what's on my mind. Usually that works. Michaela, I use them to speak with ancestors often, but not with the others I mentioned. It feels like it should be different. Well, it's all about invocation. When you say who speaks through the cards, well, who speaks through your phone? It's whoever you call. So just invoke. If you want to speak with your mother in spirit, invoke your mother. How might you do that? You might take the Empress card and put it out there and ask her to come. You might simply think about her or have a picture there. There's a lot of ways to do invocation. But I think the way to deal with spirit through the cards is simply to do the invocation. I definitely use the art of the cards like a vision board, right? Magic and self-care, absolutely. Marion, sometimes when I want to tune in with spirit, etc., I'll shuffle the cards to distract my conscious mind, and then I can hear any messages coming through, like a meditative practice. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, and you know that works for another reason too, because we are all trained as tarot readers that when we have the cards in our hand, we are automatically open for messages. So you don't even necessarily have to pull the cards. If you're holding them, if you're shuffling them, you are open to messages, and the spirits know this. Julie, I have a conversation, often out loud, with my guide team and sometimes call on other people's higher self guides or angels or relatives. I'm specific whom I ask very often. Dawn, it's so nice to see you here, Dawn. I'm often harder on myself in readings for myself because I don't want to be overly optimistic. Giving time to see how events unfold is helpful. I draw a card or three and then sit with it over a few days. Okay, cool, very good. So, any other thoughts you want to share about that? Now, if you're doing a professional reading and someone asks you to connect with someone in spirit, you may be a person who can just do that or can just hold the cards and do that. But if you want to involve the cards, there's a lot of ways to do that. And I usually start by reading about who the person was in life, and then their death experience, and then their immediate experience in the afterlife, then what they're doing now, then any messages that they have. So you could even do that as a tarot spread. Okay. Claire, what about tarot apps for readings? So for a professional reading, absolutely not. For myself, I use them, absolutely. If I just want a quick answer and I'm out and about and I don't want to get my cards out, absolutely. But you know what? I don't read what they say. I don't read the blurb any more than I go to the book. I just let the app pull the cards for me, and that works out a lot. Okay, so Michaela, what about emotional trauma healing and shadow work with the cards? Now, first of all, when we talk about emotional trauma healing, we do have to recognize we're not therapists unless we happen to have that degree. But I think we can do some healing here. We really can. For ourselves and for others, as long as we are careful not to cross those boundaries. If you need a therapist, see a therapist. See a therapist in conjunction with doing this work. But what are ways to do that healing work with the cards? Some of it might just be to think about a particular trauma and pull a card about it. What do I need to know about this trauma? How did it affect me? How is it still affecting me? What can I do to release it? What do I have to think about? Now, you can also choose particular cards. Like, for instance, one of my favorites is the Eight of Swords, which speaks to me a lot of my own trauma. And I'll do a meditation with the Eight of Swords where I actually put myself in the card, picture myself all tied up in that cage, and then picture how I get out of it and walk away. So to do that meditation where you put yourself as the character of the card, to be a captive of the devil and then walk away, any of that can be very, very helpful. What about you? What do you folks do? Okay, Karen Winkle, when I read for myself, I will purposefully detune, kind of like softening my gaze to keep my brain out of the equation as much as possible. Yes. Kimberly Essex, I've been doing a lot of spirit readings lately. Julie, yes, it's like listening while shuffling. Yes, yes. Maria has some love for that process of reading for the deceased. Julia, I just want to thank you for the rapid fire reading. It really leaves no time to wonder or worry. It's what it is. Very powerful technique. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Okay, Kimberly Essex. I found that when I use an app too much, I start having trouble connecting with my physical cards. Interesting. A solution was just not to use the app when the actual cards were available. Makes sense. Christy says help. Okay. You might want to elaborate on that a little bit, please. Michaela, while the role playing in the cards idea sounds amazing. Yeah, it's a great one. I love to play with that. Okay. Kimberly Essex in the Global Tarot Circle group asked about this, and I'd love to get your ideas. Since most of us have moved a lot of our in-person tarot stuff online, what are you doing? Are you taking online tarot classes? Are you teaching online tarot classes? Are you leading online tarot groups? Have you been doing readings at Zoom parties? This is for professionals here in the group. What have you done that is working? What would you like to do? If you're not a professional, have you gone to some classes? What classes do you like? What do you like in a class? What don't you like in a class? Or anyone in the tarot community, here we are in an online tarot gathering. What platforms do you like? What do you like to do? How does it work for you? You know, one thing I've decided is that even when we can have people in the office again, I'm going to continue all the online stuff I'm doing. I usually do 3 teaching lives on YouTube once a month, and that's up from 1 that I was doing pre-COVID. And I'm doing 1 Zoom class a month, which is up from 0 before COVID. But talk to me. What works? What doesn't? Okay. Let's see. From Julie, oh my God, I love that idea. I often see other people moving around in the cards, but never thought to put myself in it. Yes, put yourself in the cards. And Claire says about online stuff, I like this one. Thank you so much. Kimberly Essex about reading for yourself. Something I tell beginners is just to speak aloud what they see in the cards as much detail as possible. Often the answers will be in those words. Yes, indeed. Okay, from Marion, question. Opinions on using the book during a professional reading. Personally, for me, I don't feel you should be reading professionally if you still have to go to the book. 99.9% of the time, I completely agree. However, if you're reading with a sort of specific deck, not a traditional deck, there's something in the image and the person says, so what's that little snake doing there? I think it's okay to look it up since they asked about it. To look up and see if you can find the artist's intention and all of that, because we certainly don't memorize every symbol. But yeah, I really feel like if you are not way the heck off book, you have no right charging money for readings. Now, something like I Ching, you're always going to the book. You know, it's bibliomancy. If you're doing bibliomancy, that's one thing. But even then, you have to offer an interpretation. You can't just read what it says, you will cross the great water. You have to interpret what that means. In my opinion, I'd love to hear what other people say. Regarding reading for myself from Ricky Sue, I ask a question and pull a card. I also use my crystal ball, always a good reading. Okay, Karen Winkle agrees with Marion. Teresa loves the online events. What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see less of? Let us know. Maria, my business has always been online. I'm located in Spain, and I don't like very much the tarot culture in my country. So that's why I decided to start online. Currently reading and teaching online. I've also been learning Kipper with an actual system, and I'm loving it. Beautiful. Julia, thank goodness I get to see my tarot friends much more often because they are far away. So Zoom has been wonderful, right? Now that we've all learned how not to get Zoom bombed, Zoom has been great. Karen, I love the online format and have been enjoying the offerings. Very good. Dawn, before COVID and the online options opened up, I was learning all by myself. No tarot community near me. I've only attended 1 conference and it was canceled this year. So COVID has increased my opportunities for learning. You know, in the midst of all of the trauma and horror that this pandemic has caused and everything going on, there are gifts in it. And the ability to really develop this online community has certainly been one of them. You're absolutely right. Maria, I can see there are instances in which it can be okay to use a book, but not as a general rule and not to look up meanings of cards, but maybe the symbolism or something related to the artwork in the deck. Okay, Brenda Elizabeth, taking classes, loved the WDA conference. Yeah, we all did. So much, especially the 1-hour class increments. I'm teaching classes on Zoom. My favorite thing about that is I can have friends from all over the country there. Yes. One favorite feature is the breakout rooms, which, by the way, are not available yet in the webinar function. So if it's a webinar, not a meeting, no breakout rooms, which is sad, where we can practice with each other. Also facilitating meditation classes online. This took a while to get used to, but now I feel good about it. I put everyone on mute. Yes, everyone on mute. Yes, you must. And there's no bag crinkling, farting, snoring, coughing like my in-person classes. That's hilarious. Kimberly Essex, what I've been doing for Zoom Meetup already. I create a spread for a given topic. Each person shuffles and lays the spread to read for themselves. We each share our own cards, our thoughts, and get feedback, starting with the first card of the spread and so on. I think that's beautiful. So I'm going to be doing a library presentation on Zoom next week. I had been scheduled to present in person at the library, but with COVID, they asked me if I would go on Zoom. So I'm going to be doing my typical PowerPoint of history, the art, history, and culture of tarot, and I'm really looking forward to that. Now, I was also the surprise guest at a surprise Zoom birthday party. The birthday girl just thought it was a Zoom with friends, but it was her party. They had me come in a half hour after it started, and they said, "We got you a psychic." And so I had to do a reading for her, like 15-minute reading in front of everyone. And so I had them participate and ask questions. It was a lot of fun. Okay. Karen Winkle, I agree that there are gifts in this virus. I was just talking to a friend this morning. So many things to be grateful for. Maria, I'm a Luddite and I can't use Zoom to speak with multiple people to save my life. So what is it about it that is difficult? Share what the problem is and we'll see if we can share some answers with you. Okay. So I think you want a surprise party like that. Yep, absolutely. So one thing about COVID is it really has had Luddites learn, let's put it that way. At the birthday party, did they ask questions for themselves or were they all asking questions for the birthday girl? Well, now, I did another Zoom for another meetup where it was a psychic gallery and they all asked questions. In fact, that's where I met Lavana. They all asked questions for themselves. This was just for the birthday girl. So I did my Celtic Cross. I started with an overview, shared some things about her, but like I asked a question about some portion of her personality. I saw that she was very creative and she didn't think she was creative. So I turned to everyone else in the group and I said, okay, come on. In what way do you see that she is creative? And they all came back that she was really good at fashion. She always looked great. She put together great outfits. And when they had to look great, they went to her for fashion advice. So it was like that. Okay. For Marion, Zoom has been fantastic. Most of my work has been online, so there really wasn't much of a change. I've been teaching a beginner's class via Zoom, and it's been much less nerve-wracking than in person. Michaela, I'd love to read for parties, sounds fun, but I almost always read online. Well, that's what we're saying is we're doing these online parties, so you can. Okay, here we go, Maria. I've tried to set up Zooms with multiple people, but there's a time limit on one side, and I also find it super difficult because it's not like when you're face-to-face and it's so easy to step on other people trying to talk. It makes me really nervous. Okay, so if it's one-on-one, I don't think there's any greater risk of stepping on someone. If it's a group, you have everyone muted and you bring them up to speak one at a time. You invite them to speak and you bring them up. Now, it sounds like you're using the free Zoom, which is only 40 minutes. Is that the problem? Okay. Okay, Victoria, we are not doing readings. You'll have to come back next time for the readings. Okay. So we have 4 minutes left. So at this point, let's see, what have we learned? We've learned ways of speaking with those who have passed on. We've learned that just shuffling the deck connects us to spirit. And Kimberly says you can raise your hand in Zoom by clicking on participants. Yes, that's right. Excuse me, so people can ask to speak. And generally, most of the people I have are on cam, so they literally just raise their hand and I call on them. Yeah, I have to say, there's different levels of Zoom that you can pay for, and I found it really worthwhile. And one thing I noticed in my Zoom class versus my in-person classes is a lot of people like to bring a drink. Like here in the office, I have coffee, tea, hot chocolate, water. We have snacks. But I notice in my Zoom classes, people are drinking a beer, people are drinking wine. How cool is that? Okay. So I haven't tried the muting. The muting is the key. You've got to mute them. If you have more than one open, it will drive you crazy. Mute, mute, mute. That's important. Okay, and David is reaching out to Victoria. The two of you, if you want to set up a reading, go right ahead. That's a wonderful thing. That's what we're here for, so do that. Brenda, WebEx does not have a time limit for a free account. It's almost identical to Zoom. I didn't even know there was free WebEx. I used to use WebEx back in the day. That's good to know. Okay, so good stuff. Thank you so much. So now is the time for shameless self-promotion. If you have a website, an Insta account, a Facebook page, a blog post, something you would like to share. Yes, Maria, I think that's it. I really do. I really do. Go ahead and drop your shameless self-promotion right in the chat, right in the comments. Let's help each other. Let's like each other's pages. Please remember to like this video if you have not, and please remember to like me here on Facebook, Christiana Gaudette, and also to subscribe to my YouTube channel, also Christiana Gaudette. If you do not receive my weekly newsletter, you can go to my website. Guess what it's called? ChristianaGaudette.com. You can sign up for my newsletter. It comes out once a week. So we have a lot of great stuff going on. As I said, I've got 3 free live YouTube classes on my YouTube channel. I've got a Zoom class at the end of the month. It's $37.50. It's on the 30th, I believe, Psychic Tarot. We're going to work on psychic development using our psychic and intuitive skills as we do tarot readings. I hope that you will join us. That's the one premium event. I also want to remind you that I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, Zoom, from anywhere in the world. Please do reach out. I'd love to read for you. And I'm also available for mentorship. Wherever you are in your personal growth journey or your tarot journey, I can help you get to the next level. Okay, thank you so much, Maria. You get my newsletter in 3 different emails. Thank you so much. That's great. Okay, we have a lot of links being dropped. Go ahead. Free meditation tonight at 8:30 on Zoom. You can find the Facebook event. Check that out from Brenda Elizabeth. Very good. We've got Kimberly Essex Instagram. RickySueTarotCardReading.com. What about mentorship? PM me. I can talk to you about it. Yes, I can. Love to. For Irene, HolisticKeys.com. Julie, her Facebook page, A Clear Sign. Betty, it's so nice to see you. It's been a long time. Jean, where do you sign up for my Zoom class or the meditation Zoom class? The meditation Zoom class, just scroll back, see the link to Brenda Elizabeth, and it will take you to the Facebook page. My Zoom class, you can find it in the events on the website. and also the events listed on my Facebook business page. Just go to events there. Okay, Maria, thesibylstarot.com. Same on Instagram, same on Facebook. Go to Marion's YouTube, Marion K. Tarot. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. And if anyone wants help, Brenda Elizabeth offers. Her husband calls her the Zoom Queen. Very good. Folks, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I do want to remind you, I will be back here on Facebook during the day tomorrow. I'll make an announcement about when I'm going to come on to do our newsletter recap. That's always fun. Then I'll be back here on Friday during the day for your Friday weekly wrap-up. And next weekend, I think, is our first meeting on YouTube for the month. So I'll look forward to seeing all of you. I thank you all so much for being here. Have a great night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'll look forward to speaking with you.